Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Najwa. I'm very happy you're here. Please go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button if you're new here. Hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video. Today I wanted to quickly talk to you about the benefits of using InDesign. Now there's big questions within the design, the advertising community, the graphic design community, the marketing community of whether InDesign is still useful, and the answer is yes. Adobe's tools are always going to be useful no matter how big AI gets, no matter how much we have so many platforms where we can design on our phones or our mobile apps or even web clients where we can do things automatically. Adobe is still going to be a major player within design, within coding and things like that. And InDesign is part of what is so versatile about creating print format designs. And so Canva, for example, you can use tools like Canva to create things like postcards, to create things like business cards, even to create something like a banner for, a huge banner that you would use at something like an expo, for example. But the thing that you won't achieve that you will in InDesign, that difference between Canva and InDesign, is InDesign really was created for production design. It's created to really give you the most, how do you want to say, refined color, the color as it actually is on your screen, the closest depiction of that in print. InDesign was really created for that, especially when you're creating things. For example, I've used InDesign to create lots of things like decals for restaurants, inside of the windows of restaurants. There's also the file size. InDesign is capable of using the CPU on your computer, the RAM, to basically crank out designs that it would take Canva a long time to do. It will probably crash your web browser, and then when you actually go to export it, it probably will, the colors will all be off, the text, and there's lots of buggy things that happens with Canva's text. Canva is just not really, it might get there one day, but it's really just not there in terms of being optimized truly for large scale prints. If you're printing out something, say if you're creating something to be printed out on a big billboard in your local city, for example, or you're creating something to be on a big decal inside of your restaurant or inside of your boutique or your insurance agency, your shop, whatever it might be, you're definitely going to want to have a designer who can use InDesign, and you can do that. Now, if you're having trouble and it all just sounds like too much, I can do it for you. Just email me and we can schedule a one-on-one. But I do like to give these marketing tools to the people so that you can learn to use them yourself. Once you really do get into the InDesign space, and we're not really going to use this video, I've got my computer right in front of me, we're not going to use this video to really look into the interface of InDesign, because InDesign is a little bit different because it's working from stuff that is more emphasized for print and less for digital. So it's a bit more complex, and it really depends on those specific projects that you're doing. But I just wanted to talk you through the capabilities that it has. So again, those things like large scale posters, big banners that you would use at expos, and then you can also import huge TIFFs, which is a file type, into InDesign, and Canva can't handle that. It doesn't have the capacity to handle that at this point truly like that. And when you actually go to print it out, it's probably gonna look wonky, the colors, and you might just crash your computer when you could just do it in InDesign. You can do decals, you can do posters, you can do billboards, you can do things for expos, you can do things like business cards where you really can craft exactly the look and feel that you want. One major fallback with Canva, and I use Canva a lot for my work, but in Canva, for example, when you're creating vector graphics, actual vector graphics, custom vector graphics, it's much harder to use Canva to do that. You really are limited with Canva with using the graphics that they have at their disposal or uploading your own. So InDesign, you really can customize it to that level that you want it to be. And also the integration with Adobe between InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop is just, you really can use that integration to pull in JPEGs here, pull in masks here, pull in vector graphics here, all into InDesign, and it's all in the same ecosystem. It's much better at the end of the day. And the colors, I mean, design is really truly all about colors. And if you aren't representing the colors the way that they really should be seen, for example, I've seen out around town billboards where the colors, especially if it's food, where it just looks really weird and yellow or super duper dark and muddy, and it's just like, hey, that's not supposed to look that way. You can avoid that with InDesign and with a good print shop. Another thing that you can do in InDesign is big booklet things, big booklets. Now again, Canva, it's really running from online, okay? InDesign is an app that's on your computer. And so if you're gonna do a 200-page document, and they exist, maybe you wanna do an annual report for your company. Maybe you want to do a style guide that includes everything. A style guide that includes everything from your company's logo standards, to typography, to photography, to copywriting styles, to strategy, to design examples, to color palettes. You know, like, you can really pile as many pages as you want into InDesign. You can really use master pages in InDesign really well. Master pages is basically where you can create these templates, and then you can just drag and drop them onto different pages and customize them as you please. Whereas in Canva, that's really, really limited. You can use it to create booklets like your actual own book. If you are a comic strip artist and you want to create a great comic strip, InDesign is amazing to do that. If I tried to do that in something like Word, and something like Canva, and something like PowerPoint Online, and something like Keynote, I'm already getting a headache from just thinking about that. InDesign is a perfect place to do that. You can also use InDesign, for example, if you have a restaurant, to do a weekly menu. I once had a client that had 3 different restaurants: a Mexican restaurant, an Argentinian steakhouse, and an Italian restaurant, but they each had custom menus. And so it was actually really fun. Every week, the Italian restaurant would switch out its menu. So you really needed a template that you really could just drop and drag, copy and paste, and customize just as you please. InDesign is really, really amazing for that. And it's also, if you want to do a refresh of that design, it's really good to build on top of that. Anything concerning magazine ads, for example, flyers, but creative flyers that you really want to have that extra InDesign is really, really great for that. So I hope that this video was helpful. If you are wondering if Adobe Creative Suite is worth your investment, or if you rather should just hire a designer, Adobe Creative Suite is getting a bit more expensive as time goes on, or if you should just grab a designer, we can talk about that. If all of this seems way too overwhelming for you and you would rather just have someone else do it for you, get in touch with me. We can schedule a one-on-one. I will put my email below. And also, if you're interested in doing it on your own, this channel is here. It is going to be growing. I'm growing my little community here. And hopefully, as this channel grows, there will be hundreds and hundreds of different videos with me sharing all the insights that I've learned in my 10 years in creative advertising and digital marketing, to help you unlock those tools that you really can use on your own. Those big brands, those unicorn companies, those tech companies that are using these tools and making billions of dollars, you actually have access to the same tools, the same pillars of marketing, and I'm here to share that with you. So definitely keep coming back. This channel is new, but we are building this community, and I am so happy to have you here. If you're new here, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, hit that bell so you know whenever I post a video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.